So we're talking movies, we're talking like series and stuff.
Yeah.
I know, Chris, you were watching the
Netflix, man. It's got me, man. I'm binging. I'm binging on
What are you
Netflix.
watching?
Rapture. Rapture is a new series, hip hop. I guess it's a documentary on artists. I binge watched 7 episodes. I think 7 of 8. Wow. And it was a Sunday afternoon thing when I first started watching. Turned on the first episode, said, "Let me check this out." And it's
Did
funny
it come
because
out that day?
I think so. Yeah, that's
Because
what caught me.
when
Was the
you
commercial.
mentioned it, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I've never heard of this.
Because right, you go on Netflix and they have a commercial playing of what just came out or what you should watch. So I said, all right, let me check that out. Because right away I heard the beats and I knew Nas was involved. And I just said, okay, let me check that out. So I put it on, and I got to admit, the first artist, Logic, I didn't really know until the end of that episode. I was like, oh, you're the guy that sings this song. Because there's a hot song he's got on radio right now.
1-800
a pop song, the Suicide song.
Yeah.
Right? So I watched that episode and I was like, okay, this is cool. Not really feeling the artist, I gotta be honest. I wasn't really feeling him too much. But
I think, to be fair, I think you need to listen to more of his music, not just that 1-800
Right.
record. Because I've been following him ever since his Frank
Right.
Sinatra mixtape series. Like,
Right.
He's a skilled rapper.
yeah, I'm not doubting that he is.
Right,
It's
right.
just he was never on my radar.
No.
But
Right.
the good thing about the series is it introduced me to him.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay. And then it got into other episodes, and like Nas is in an episode, which I thought was a great episode.
Oh, I can't wait
It's
for
kind of
that
like
Nas and Dave East.
yeah, Nas and Dave East.
Okay.
Which brings me to the point that I think that this series, what it's really doing, is again, it's a promotional tool for artists.
Right.
Right? It's introducing or reintroducing artists to people.
Right.
And what I like is each one of them has their own individual story, so it's not the same formula and the same storyline for each artist. And I was really impressed with T.I.'s episode, and it made me really look at T.I. again in a different light, and I really think that he should be in that top 20 of rappers. Because when you listen to his lyrics and the things that he says, whether it's gangster shit or the new positive shit that he's on, he's really saying some stuff, and he's been consistent. And I think that he really has the potential to become the next Tupac if he wanted to.
It's funny you mentioned that because he put himself in that category.
Oh, did he?
People were comparing Lil Xan and they were saying, Pac. T.I. came out publicly and was like, this guy, you need to understand that me and Pac, he put himself in that category. And a lot of people, I know, like on my timeline alone, people were like, yo, T.I., chill, you're not him. But you have to do the history.
He's not, but research T.I. and the things that he's done and the records that he's put out. Right? And the message that he's pushing now and the things that he says and when he speaks. Right? And he does have a motive, and it comes with maturity as well. And the thing about it is it's authentic. Because he's that dude. He's real. Right?
I will admit that like T.I. was probably the one rapper that got me so angry because there's so much potential in him, so much talent, it's like swag and what have you. And then when he goes to jail, his hot album goes to jail. Comes back out of jail, doo-doo album or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's just like you have so much going for you right now.
But that doo-doo album you're referring to is the one where he changed it up and said, "Let me get social political."
No, not even that. It's just that like I always noticed like ever since what was the album in 2000? King. Right. Ever since that album, his trajectory has been very inconsistent. Like King was a hot album, arguably his best album, but then T.I. versus T.I.P. it was alright. But they came out with Paper Trail, dope album. But then the album that he put out while he was in jail, not the greatest, right? So every time he gets into some sort of legal altercation, it stunts his growth, it stunts his progression as an artist, and it makes me angry because I want to get invested into him. But then he does something stupid, and then he comes out with lackluster music after the fact. It's like, man, you were doing good. You did this, and you did that. I want you to be here again. Like, stop messing up. You know what I mean? It's like that. It's like an NBA player who's scoring like 25 a game, but then does something reckless, and then gets benched, and then he comes back into the season, and he's not as good as he used to be, right? So like,
but I think that's really going to help him grow, and that's why I think he has the potential to be a real leader in the community.
Right. And I'm saying like as of right now, what I've heard over the last couple of years with T.I., as far as music goes, as far as like his messages on social media and what have you, he has matured, and I respect that. And I hope that trajectory.
And he maintains that and keeps going, and that's what you want for him, right?
So I give props to him because it seems like he's finally learning after all these years. Him being in his like late 30s, give or take, maybe. Like, it took you a while to get the message, but I'm glad you're finally starting to get the message.
He's got it, man. So I'm really digging this series, man. I think it's a real good series, and even with 2 Chainz, like I have a new respect for 2 Chainz after watching this episode. After watching his episode, and I just really got to applaud Netflix too, because when you think about it, it's anybody can think of anything, right? Even the Roxanne story, Roxanne, right? Like, again, I watched that. I thought it was very well done. I think it could be a lot better. And as a fan in that era, I wanted to hear more and see more.
Right.
But at the same time, I applaud Netflix for providing a platform
Right.
for these type of films. And I think it's a platform that, like regular networks, aren't going to provide.
No.
Right? It's maybe stuff's not the quality to get in the movie theater. But I got to give Netflix props, man, because they're really showcasing urban talent.
And these things, like the record labels are basically pushing their artists on
Yeah,
Netflix.
and that's what you got to do.
So if you're gonna, showcase your artists, make sure that they don't do fucked up things while they're doing this documentary.
Right. Oh, yeah,
or else
of course.
you're gonna really look bad. G-Eazy, I didn't know this guy.
The funny thing is, I skipped over his episode.
Really?
I didn't even watch it. As soon as I realized it was G-Eazy, I was like, whatever. And again, just because
That's how you binge watch so many.
what I've seen from him or heard from him, right? And I play his videos. I program a couple videos.
Right.
I'm just not really a fan, so I don't want to hear his story.
Right.
Maybe I should give him a chance, but I wasn't interested in hearing that
He
story.
turned me off.
Right.
I was like, okay, this guy's lyrical. He's dope. I kind of like him.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But then at a meet and greet, like, he was, like, the guy was just like, hey, and move on.
Right.
Hey,
Okay, very
Right.
formulaic
move
in
on.
a sense.
And then this white girl kissed him on the cheek, and he's like, oh, I got lipstick on my cheek. Okay, move on. And then the black girl tried to kiss him on the cheek. He says, no.
Really?
Oh,
And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And she walked away. I'm like, fuck this guy, man.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, you really look bad. And like, I thought I was going to like you. I don't like you anymore. Man.
Right.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Right.
So you got to be careful when you're going to
One look
be
good
showcasing.
and then one didn't? Is that what? No, I'm joking.
I don't know.
I didn't even get that
Young
far. I
girls.
was just like, you know what?
I'll
Let me go to
say
the next
this.
episode.
In regards to Netflix, like I really do like how they're diversifying as far as like their content goes, especially with the hip hop stuff and what have you, because it gives you a variety of different things, right? And it just shows you like how diverse they are in terms of like culture and race and what have you, which is why I find it, very funny that, Monique is kind of going on a little tirade about boycott Netflix and they're racist and sexist. And like when I see all the content that's on Netflix, it just shows to me that like she's just using those terms to weaponize as a way
like
to
she
get
pitched the show and got turned down.
I know, right? And like,
Exactly.
and I feel like she's just weaponizing these terms to get people on her side. Because once you hear racism and sexism, those are buzzwords, and like people feel obligated to join your fight because you're talking about that. You know what I mean? But she's being very insincere about it. She just wants people to rally for her cause. So that's why I just love the fact that Netflix is kind of disproving her in the sense, because you have all these people that are collaborating with Netflix to get their projects on there. Like maybe someone as big as Dave Chappelle or Chris Rock or Nas, for example, with the Mass Appeal thing. But at the same time, you have lesser known people who are getting their work on Netflix as well. I've seen British black programming or British Nigerian programming in particular on Netflix, right? So it's just like, okay, Monique, where's your claim of like lack of diversity? Like where over yonder? Like I don't see it anywhere.
Go through new releases, you see a Bollywood film.
Yeah, like I've seen so much Asian content on there too. It's just like, yo, Monique, like get out of here.
Stop talking.
It's basically marketing for her.
So the Rapture show also has A Boogie with a Hoodie.
Yep.
Big New York artist. I've been sleeping. It's dope.
I haven't seen
Just Blaze.
Rhapsody.
T.I., again, I thought the T.I. one was really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know what? I skipped over that one.
Did you?
For the T.I. one?
Skip T.I.
I'm like, fuck T.I., man. Wow. I was one of the first guys to jump on T.I. when he came out with trap music.
Yeah.
Right.
Not exactly.
He jumped
Pause.
all over.
Trap music was like the one. I'm like, oh, this guy's dope.
Right.
And then, for some reason, I just lost interest.
So you didn't like bring them out? I'm hot boys, young. Bring them out. Bring them out.
Bring him out was dope.
Yeah, I like that.
What about the song with Rihanna, man? That's a big tune.
Oh,
right
Live Your
there.
Life.
Live your life.
Oh, come on.
What's that line? Swag of a college.
You know what?
Heart
What
of
it
a hustler?
was? It's
Swag
like
of a
he
college
was
student.
underground.
I love
that
He was
line.
underground, and I'm like, oh, I discovered something, and then became popular.
And you're like,
Oh, you became one of those people. It's like, fuck that. Everyone likes it now. I don't like it anymore. It's so counterculture. Oh my god, guys. Oh, you like Lupe now? I don't like Lupe anymore. He was there during the.
I just
made lasers.
hope they have a season 2 and they continue to do it.
Right.
But I think what you said, and I never did the research, but I'd be interested to see what label each one of those artists are on.
Yes.
Because I think the labels did have a
They were the one pushing.
strong arm in it to push these artists
yeah,
and like
man.
support them.
Like Logic, he's on.
And
Def
it's a great promotional tool, man.
Universal,
it really is.
watch, Universal's behind the fucking everything.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, because Logic, he's on Def Jam. So is Dave East. Well, just Lacey's a producer, so like he kind of
all
contracts
over the
stuff
place.
wherever, right? Ti, you said, right? So
T.I.,
Ti, he's on Atlantic, I think. Last I checked. Yeah, I'm not sure who else is on. I've only gone on one episode.
Nas doesn't he have a Def Jam?
He's Def Jam, yeah. Def Jam /
Association?
Sony, I think.
Yeah.
So it's like a joint deal, basically.
Yeah, it's all on the umbrella. It's all everything's under the same.
Well, Def Jam's under Universal, but Sony, they're their own conglomerate, I think. Like they're one.
Who distributes Rock Nation?
I think Def Jam then.
There you go, Rock Nation. Was
But then
a big
again,
player.
Rockefeller's on Def Jam as well, so then wouldn't that be a conflict of interest because he had to buy himself out of the Rockefeller
I don't know,
contract?
but there's some kind of
Right. There's a correlation. I'm sure there is. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm sure there's only how many two big labels?
So there's
Universal.
Yeah,
It's
Universal,
Universal.
Atlantic, Capitol, Sony, and there's one more. There's
Doesn't
Warner
Universal-
Brothers. Warner Brothers.
Doesn't Universal own Sony now?
Sorry?
Doesn't Universal own Sony?
That I don't know for sure.
Yes.
It's like Sony
Yeah.
Columbia
Yes.
or something like
There's
that.
only like two majors
It's
now.
only two.
Yeah.
Which two?
Universal and somebody else.
And Warner.
And Warner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about Atlantic then? Who are they under if that's the case?
I think it falls
or in
under
Capital
Universal.
They're
Like,
under
if you
someone
dig
else,
it,
man.
Look it up, man. But Universal bought up everything.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Disney doesn't have their own record label.
Give it some
They
time.
do.
Oh, do they?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, stand corrected.
There you go.
All those musicals they put out, they put out the soundtracks.
All right. That's right. That's right.